Hi preschool friends, it's Miss Shelly. Today we are going to read a story called Jack and the Beanstalk. Have you ever heard this story before? Some have, some haven't. All right. Well, I want you to listen for words that repeat. Oh, and that means that you hear them over and over in the story. All right, here we go. Jack and the Beanstalk. Once upon a time, there was a poor widow who had an only son named Jack. He was a manly lad, but he was of little help to his mother in earning a living. The pair grew poorer and poorer and poorer, and one day there was nothing left on their farm but a cow. Sadly, Jack's mother said to him, "Tomorrow you must take our cow to market, Jack, and remember, the more you can sell her for, the better. It will be all the money we have to live on for a very long, long time." Well, the next morning, Jack got up early and he started off to market with the cow. There he is on the way to the market with the cow. On the way, he met a little old man. "Good morning, Jack," said the little old man. "Where might you be going with that fine cow?" "I am taking her to market," replied Jack. But he wondered how the little old man knew his name. How did this little old man know his name? "You selling cows?" laughed the man. "A bit of a lad. Who wouldn't know how many beans make 5? 2 in each hand and 1 in your mouth," answered Jack quickly. "Oh ho," said the little old man, laughing again. "Well, suppose you look at these." And he held out his hands. In his palm were 10 times 5 colored beans. "I'll give you all these beans for your cow." Do you think that Jack should take the beans and give the old man his cow? Remember what his mother said. His mother said, "Jack, you have to sell the cow. That'll be the only money that we have." I don't think he should do it. Well, that's a good bargain, thought Jack. So he traded the cow for the beans and he ran home. Uh-oh. "Mother, look," he said happily as he poured the beans into her lap. "I got all these pretty beans for our cow." "You stupid boy," she cried. "Now we shall starve." And she gathered up the beans and threw them out the window. Then she turned on Jack angrily. "Off to bed, young man," she said. "There will be no supper for you this night." A very sad and sorry Jack trudged upstairs to his room. Long after he was in bed, he could still hear his mother weeping. The sun woke Jack very early the next morning, so he dressed and he ran into the garden. Lo! A beanstalk had sprung from one of the beans his mother had thrown away. It had grown so quickly that the top was hidden above the clouds in the sky. Oh my goodness. Jack began to climb the beanstalk. He climbed and he climbed and he climbed until at last he reached the top. As he was catching his breath, he noticed a long road that led off over the clouds. Where do you think that road leads to? I don't know. Jack started to walk along the road and soon he met a beautiful lady. Before he could say a word, the beautiful lady, who was really a fairy, answered the question that was in Jack's mind. "You are in a country that belongs to a wicked giant," the fairy told Jack. She went on to say, "The giant took your father and took all his gold. You were only a baby when this happened, and your mother has been too sad since to talk about it. Now, Jack, it's up to you to take care of the giant." The fairy whispered in Jack's ear, telling him just what to do, and then she vanished. She continued to walk along the road. It was dusk when he came to the door of a very large house. He knocked, and a woman opened the door. "I am very tired and hungry," said Jack politely. "Could you give me supper and a place to stay for the night?" The woman threw up her hands in fright. "Poor lad, I cannot help you, she said. I am only the cook. A mean giant lives here, and he will surely eat you when he comes home. Be gone now. The woman started to close the door. Oh, please, Jack begged. I am dying of hunger, and I am too tired to take another step. Please help me. Against her better judgment, the woman asked Jack to enter the house. She led him into the kitchen where she told him to sit down. Then she brought bread and cheese and a large mug of milk from the cupboard. Eat, the cook said, and be quick about it. But Jack was not quick enough. Before he had finished eating, he heard thump, thump, thump of heavy footsteps coming closer and closer and closer. Quick as a wink, the cook hid Jack in the cupboard and closed the door. The giant stalked into the kitchen, sniffing the air and shouting, Fee, fi, fo, fum! I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread. Nonsense, said the cook. It's only your supper you smell. Sit down and eat. Jack peeped through a crack in the cupboard. He watched the giant take huge helpings of food from many dishes and begin to eat. When all the dishes were empty, the giant leaned back in his chair and commanded, Bring me my hen. A hen is a grilled chicken. The cook brought a hen and put it on the table before the giant. Lay, thundered the giant, and the hen laid a golden egg. 12 times the giant shouted his order, and 12 times the hen obeyed. She laid 12 golden eggs on the table, and then the giant gave a great yawn, settled comfortably into his chair, and began to snore so loudly that the house shook and the dishes clattered. One great snore shook Jack right out of the cupboard. He grabbed the hen and he ran as fast as his legs would carry him to the beanstalk. Quickly he climbed down, down, down the beanstalk and carried the remarkable hen to his mother. For many days after that, the hen laid golden eggs for Jack and his mother, and Jack sold them for a good price. Before long, the pair had enough to live in luxury for the rest of their lives. But Jack was not content. He kept thinking of the mean giant who had taken his father and of the beautiful fairy who had told him what to do about it. One day, Jack climbed the beanstalk again. This time, he had dressed himself to look like a different person. He did not want the cook to recognize him when he tapped at the giant's door. Sure enough, when the woman opened the door of the giant's house, she did not recognize Jack. She did not know he was the same little lad she had once hidden in the kitchen cupboard. Please, said Jack, can you give me food and a place to rest? I am very tired and hungry. No, indeed, answered the cook. I took in another tired and hungry lad, and he took my master's precious hen. But Jack appeared so innocent and talked so convincingly that at last the cook invited him into the house. The cook gave Jack some supper, and no sooner had he finished it than he heard the giant approaching. Thump, thump, thump. Hide under this, said the cook, and quickly turned a huge empty kettle over Jack. The door flew open and the giant stalked in, shouting, Fee, fi, fo, fum! I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread. You are imagining things, said the cook, as she set the giant supper before him. After the giant had eaten, he roared, Bring out my harp. The cook brought a harp with strings of pure gold, placed it before the giant. Play, he commanded. Well, he's not very nice. He doesn't have very good manners. All by itself, the golden harp played beautiful music. And before long, the giant's snore drowned out the sweet sounds. And then very quickly, Jack lifted the kettle and he looked around. What do you think Jack's gonna do? Let's find out. Jack crawled from beneath the kettle and tiptoed to the harp. But no sooner had he grabbed it and started for the door than the harp began calling, "Master, master!" The giant woke up in time to see Jack running away with the magical harp. Jack was frightened and he ran for his life toward the top of the beanstalk. Right behind him came the thump, thump, thump of the giant's footsteps. When Jack reached the top of the beanstalk, he began to call, "Mother, mother, the axe, the axe!" He continued to shout as he slid down, down, down the beanstalk. Jack's mother rushed out of the house with the axe in her hand. She trembled with fright when she saw Jack sliding down the beanstalk and a giant's leg sticking through the clouds in the sky. Jack jumped to the ground, dropped the harp, grabbed the axe from his mother, and quickly he gave the beanstalk 2 sharp blows, and it toppled over. Crash! The giant lay there, a half a mile away from their house. Then Jack showed his mother the harp and told her the story of the fairy and the giant. Jack and his mother lived in wealth and great happiness from that day forward, and a giant beanstalk never grew again. The end. So, was Jack trading the cow for the magic beans? Was that beneficial? Was that a good thing for him and his mother? Tell an adult. It was. Yeah, you're right, because the hen laid, what did the hen lay? Golden eggs, that's right. And he sold those eggs and he made a lot of money from them, didn't he? And that helped to support his family. All right, friends, I hope you enjoyed Jack and the Beanstalk. We'll see you later.